For most of us jaded adults, the appeal of Christmas is powered almost entirely by nostalgia of better Christmases past. These live on in memory as perfect days, where we're frozen in time, sat on the floor in our pyjamas, surrounded by wrapping paper and by family members who are no longer with us. Personally, nothing captures that feeling quite as potently as just seeing the front covers from the December issues of the old ZX Spectrum magazines. Long before the days when we were drowning in games and movies and content, these double-sized issues were exhilarating, often with 4 cassette tapes on the front, reviews of games you might be unwrapping later that month, and usually an illustration of Dizzy the Egg in a Santa hat. The first game I ever owned was Barbarian, played on my brand new Specky on Christmas morning while it was still dark outside. Even now, looking at the cover, though I know it's just Wolf from Gladiators stood over a page 3 goal, I'm transported straight back to that one magical day. But runner-up for mainlining a second-hand festive feeling is old telly. When shows started putting the trees up, Blue Peter lighting the Advent crown, Richard and Judy getting the tinsel hung, Michael Barrymore raising his eyes at a Yule log as if to infer it resembled an erect penis. That's when you knew the big day was on its way. Presents and sweets, a massive dinner, and 2 weeks off school. The Saturday morning shows were huge purveyors of Yuletide atmosphere, with gaudily decorated studios and a raucous end-of-term feel, as we'll see with the Christmas 1985 episode of Saturday Superstore. If you've not watched it yet, I'd encourage you to see my previous video on Superstore before we begin.
You're watching BBC One. Now it's 9 o'clock, time for Saturday Superstore.
Deck the superstore for Yuletide. Ho, 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 ho. Mike is looking like a wally.
One benchmark of is it good Christmas TV is if they dub sleigh bells over the theme. Not even superimposed clip art of some holly. Pathetic.
We can trade with the world again when Nigel is at number 10.
Oh no, I'm not getting into that again. You may be asking, where's Ike? Everyone's favourite conspiracy boy has left the show by now, sadly robbing us the sight of David Icke, who doesn't even believe the moon is real, being all Christmassy. His replacement is the superbly named Vicky Licorice, who regular readers will recognise from Slinger's Day and Whizbit.
He likes to wear a Christmas hat now and again, doesn't he?
Yeah, do like yeah. Hello, Sylvie. Hello there.
Also in this later series, they've got a puppet crow, which was parodied in Leon Herring's Histor's Eye sketches.
Like read, like a bird reading a book about eggs.
Note that Mike misses the world's most obvious Christmas joke.
Good morning.
Christmas!
Happy Christmas to you. We've got a lovely cracker here, haven't we?
Look at this!
We got some friends over there in the coffee shop.
Come on, we got a couple of lovely crackers here too. Oh, just get it pulled.
It's you two. How does an elephant get down off a tree?
How to get down off a tree?
He sits on a leaf and waits for autumn, it says here, but it's not my joke. I didn't write it.
Pre-social media, cracker jokes took the place of puns by centrist dads on Twitter.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't catch it.
Where does Friday come before Thursday?
Well, I don't know.
In the dictionary.
Ah, stupid.
Talking of unfunny jokes, a freezing-looking Chegwin's out and about in Oldham.
Hey, what? I'm dressed as Santa, because yes, once again we're out with the delivery van!
Is he working for Hermes?
I left it in your recycling bin. It's a bit used, this tree. We've had it before. It's hardly twiggy, is it?
There's a very jolly atmosphere back in the studio.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Merry Christmas.
Thank you!
although Sarah's fairy costume rather undercuts some of the content.
Our televote this morning is, do you think that animals should be kept in zoos? So when you're ringing in, have a think about that.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
What a Christmas treat! More of Reedy's classic interactions with kids.
My favourite song in the charts at the moment. What do you think will be number one? Do you think it'll be Shaky or Band-Aid or Wham? Or Whitney Houston?
Shaky. I don't know.
You don't know.
And then he jumps at a popping balloon like he's reliving his days fighting the Viet Cong in Nam.
Hello to all of you, and have a great Christmas. And we'll send your badge through.
There's still all the usual superstore bits from viewers. A drawing of Rose West out on the town. Christmas cards, including one of Gordon the Gopher being tortured by Jigsaw. Someone sending Mike a lovely rose.
Just came in the post, thank you very much. It's very kind.
Isn't that nice?
Sweet.
Wonder who that was from.
And who's that?
That is my husband, Mike Reid.
Your husband?
Yes, it is.
Can I take your name?
Mrs. Mike Reid.
And an extremely normal letter to read out on television.
And finally, I had a lovely letter from me and my sister letter. She said, "Dear Saturday Superstore, me and my little sister Ruth are too big to have a bath together now. When Ruth lies down to wet her hair, she sticks her feet up my bottom."
Like a bout of indigestion. Just when you've forgotten about him, Keith pops up again.
And a very warm welcome back to the delivery van! And it's Panto fun this morning. With us, we've got the members of Mother Goose. So how's the show going?
Okay.
Now, how long has it been open now, then?
It's been open for about 2 months now.
Oh, what?
No, what? He asks one kid about an embarrassing moment on stage.
Yeah, so
what happened?
I went on too early and I was just flying on stage. I just did a circle backwards.
Oh, what?
What? Then there's a nightmare rendition of Teddy Bear's Picnic, shouted in a blustery car park where the cast only know the first 2 lines.
If you go down to the woods today, you better wave your skies.
And a girl who was discovered during Superstore's Search for a Superstar, doing ribbon magic in gale force winds. In the height of Panto season, everyone's got something to promote, like Mark Curry off Blue Peter.
Mark Curry! So, I mean, look at the...
Yes, I've got any on this one. While John Noakes and I are playing a pair of tinkers. We've got Ruth Manick from Hardy High playing Robin Hood. We've got the Roly-Polies, you know, the Roly-Polies.
So, a real host of stars,
A real
really.
host of stars.
Returning to the studio, John Craven's at the wildlife desk, hosting the big debate.
Should animals be kept in zoos?
Not sure they should be letting Dennis the Menace hand-rear an orphaned panda. It culminates in a phone-in with a zoologist, who is not messing about.
Daniel, good morning, Daniel.
Hello?
Jeremy's listening to your point. Hello, Daniel.
Hello?
Hello, carry on. What's your point?
If we are free, why shouldn't the animals be free?
Are you a vegetarian?
No.
So some of the animals that you eat weren't free. I think it's too easy to say we're free. We're not all that free, and neither are the animals.
Then some children do a musical performance.
And now, here to perform for you today are the mini minstrels from Swansea performing a minstrel medley.
Oh, they've got a slipper. Oh, they've got a slipper. Torn slipper gone away. Torn has gone to sea.
Suppose at least they're not blacked up. Back at the gathering of the Juggalos, Chegwin chats with a very nervous boy clown.
Okay. Have you always been a talented family?
Yes.
And who's the guy to the left?
Oh, he's my dad. And, about a month ago, he broke his stilt trying to do the conga on a slippy floor and broke both of his wrists.
Oh, no!
Well, I learnt my unicycle by a man called Reg Bolton.
Occult warlock Paul Daniels is in. This is during the wig years, though it still looks more real than Mike's actual hair.
My dad, oops, somebody shot themselves. Oh no, they haven't, it's a balloon gone. None of my family are magicians, I'm the only magician.
Charming. Look at the cracker technique of Paul here. Years of magic experience with that slight yet firm grip just beyond the joint, ensuring victory.
Sewing set. Oh, thank you. What exams does Father Christmas take?
What exams does Father Christmas take? No, you're right, I don't know now.
He takes his ho-ho-ho levels. Me.
Well, it's like horses take their hey-hey-hey levels.
Oh.
Have you got
Sort of a development of what he said, but it's fine to join in. We're treated to more cracker jokes, with the singer, Princess.
Mrs. Brown, do you know, dear, I was reading the other day that an ostrich can see very little and can digest anything. Mrs. Smith, what an ideal husband. Well, right, okay.
And Ian McCaskill.
Le piéton est celui qui a une table. Oh, I see. That's it. What is green and sits in the corner?
What is green and sits in the corner? I don't know.
A naughty frog. A naughty frog. Oh, God.
Brilliant.
But nothing that comes out of the crackers is as weird as the shite their viewers send in.
My mummy took me to the beach with my dog Robbie. My mummy wanted to sunbathe, but my dog was wandering, so she tied his lead to her foot. She was lying on the beach, and Robbie saw a dog. He ran off, pulling my mummy down the sand. Everyone was laughing. My mummy hurt her leg and was dragged into the sea. That's brilliant.
Paul Simon once asked my dad for a light. My dad went to university with television idiot. It says Giles Brandreth. Not only that, he's personally met Roy Castle.
Yeah, well, I'm blocked on Twitter by Wesley Snipes, Hulk Hogan and Dean Gaffney, but you don't hear me harping on about it. As they announce prizes for previous competitions, Russ Abbott hits the double of reading out a child's full home address and struggling with the name.
Go to Venetia, is it Tanqueray, 27 Sheraton Avenue, Twyford, Berkshire.
Thank you.
While the King of Christmas, Cliff Richard, dishes out a Radio 1 calendar, a lighthouse hat,
And the lighthouse hat, which is very, very silly, there it is.
and a very special star prize.
And the prize of the Laughter Show sweatshirt tickets, travel lunch with Les and Dustin. Oh, I don't know. And the backstage poster and the sign poster brought in by...
This is the Panto Dustin G suffered his fatal heart attack at, subsequently replaced by Jim Bowen. It's not clear if the winner got their prize before G died, or if some child spent an awkward lunch trying to console a grieving Les Dennis.
Lunch with Les and Dustin, which should be fabulous.
Although some of these,
Which you can win a prize of Winkies, those little Winkies.
those QAnon people were right all along. Russ Abbott's not just there to do hilarious comedy, but to showcase his side as Britain's biggest rock star.
We'll let you get on with it. Are you ready, gang? Yeah. Right.
All right, gang. Terrific.
Okay, we have Let's Go Down to the Disco.
Doubt the doorman will let you in, accompanied by 24 six-year-olds.
There's a party going on, and honey, if you want, I can take you there. Everybody's in the mood.
Later they'll use his dance floor banger, Atmosphere, to soundtrack a gallery of viewer pics.
Get your body moving, 'cause tonight has just begun. Oh, music everywhere, and soon we'll be dancing in the
Quite the guest list, isn't it? Daniels, Abbott, Cliff, and a girl called Samantha. Doesn't ring a bell. What do you do again?
Well, I told my daughter.
How long have you been talking like this, Samantha?
About 9 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Princess Ella?
You can see more.
Oh yeah, Cheggers.
All right now for you at home, you sent in your cards for our silly sound competition.
What's the silly sound? Hopefully not.
Yes, we're going to have this one.
At this time of year, you can't not invite Noddy and the gang.
We please welcome to Believe in Miracles, Slade!
Although, in an outrageous turn of events, they're not playing their Christmas song. That thing of bands miming is inherently weird, but one has to admire Noddy. So overconfident, he can't even be bothered lip-syncing in front of a mic stand, as though announcing that his is the voice of God. They might as well be strumming tennis rackets. And Dave Hills dressed like the Babadook at a school reunion. They stick around for a competition.
Simple competition, actually. All they've got to do is wrap up one of these, a Wellington boot. But the only problem is they're only allowed to do it with one hand.
Which is easier said than done in the middle of a hurricane.
Go on, Noddy, you can do it.
This week's Telegram time is backed by Aled Jones's Walking in the Air. There's no apostrophe in thanks. No more parties for you. Bit sinister. Here's an early sighting of Shrek, some years before he was supposedly first created. Laura, I'll give you the number of my lawyer. But the highlight is this message to Chatham's crew of body poppers. Swipe, Dodger, Gyro, Kid Cool, and Kid Fresh. My willy bloody stinks, it's true. When Mike goes round the star cast, asking what their favourite ever presents were, Paul tells a rambling story about being a war baby.
Hitler wanted me. The baby in the drawer, and they're all asleep. And it's Christmas morning. And he brought me this big metal machine gun. And he knows it. And I just grabbed these two handles, 3 in the morning.
And now, the greatest crossover in art's history.
Yes, and it's a very special Christmas treat for you. The words were by Sir John Betjeman, the late Sir John Betjeman, and the music is by our own Mike Reid.
Simply called Christmas, it's what one could politely describe as a festive dirge.
The bells are waiting at Benbring, the tortoise stove is lit again, and London shops on Christmas Eve are strung with silver bells and flowers.
Superstore's got its own spoof soap opera, a play on Crossroads and the era's required Dallas parody, which is a complete waste of time, other than Keith's turn as a disgusting yokel.
Hey, I love you.
As himself, he's on a dry ski slope, which is your typical Keith fannies about doing an activity.
Hey.
On here, right.
I can't even get this ski over here. Hey, impressed, eh?
But we must have been good this year, blessed with multiple celebrity phone-ins. First with Paul.
Hello, Gordon. You're through to the world's greatest magician.
Why aren't there any lady magicians?
Oh, there are some lady magicians around, sweetheart. They do say it's because women can't keep a secret. Maybe they just haven't practiced enough. I don't know. If you find a gun lying around, give it to a policeman, all right? Because they're good fellas and they'll look after you.
And then with Russ.
Well, my pet hates are things like aggravation, violence, trouble, you know, hooliganism, all that kind of thing. OK, you dirty rat. Mom! Do you remember that, James Cagney?
No. Do you do impersonations? No. Don't you? No. Never mind. Have a good Christmas anyway.
Well, actually, I'm not an impersonator as such. I mean, I'm more of a character actor, really, in a sense. Yeah, that's the problem. I can't sort of... I'm not very good at accents apart from the Scottish, but...
It's his See You Jimmy character which Russ is best known for. A showcase of the Scottish as indecipherable alcoholic thugs. But everyone was at it then. Comics and regular folks alike.
So this is Jimmy.
And this is Jimmy.
And we've come down here to buy some haggis.
Even with the spirit of the season, Abbott can't refrain from his regular hate crimes.
The music! And the carols and the... Jimmy!
And it's actually broached here by Mike.
Right, do the Scots have a go at you about doing the voice?
No, actually, they're very good about it. They've often said that... They must admit, a lot of them have said they don't take kindly to Sassenachs or English people trying to impersonate them, but they reckon that if it's done well enough, they'll accept it.
Right.
You see that? I was going to do this. I we have a hog with our What you say, Hey, you!
Then there's more of this.
How do you pronounce that, David? David, hello. Is that Flashini?
Yes.
Is that right first time?
No, she's got my spelling wrong.
Oh God, not again. SS on the monitors behind him and all.
Stachini.
Stachini.
Yeah,
Stachini,
They spelled
right.
it wrong.
And they're testing me again. Imadu Rhyme, is that right?
Yeah.
First time, you threw to Russ.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mike. At least crackers are innocent fun. Nobody ever got cancelled over a cracker.
Right, what sits on a lily pad and says cloak, cloak?
Russ, mate. Don't. Not on Jesus' birthday.
A flog?
Chinese flog.
A Chinese flog.
Well done, Mike.
Oh, great.
One side effect of such a glorious mane of hair is that you can't fit a crepe paper crown over it. I'll tell you what, you can keep your Call of Duty.
Now, I've got a computer game coming out 1st of Jan, and it's the adventures of Basildon Bond. So it's quite exciting, that, and it's got a great storyline to it.
But the day's weirdest prize is a bespoke highlight tape, made by Russ himself, using his own video recorder.
And what I'd also like to give out is actually, if I may, this is a compilation, a 3-hour tape of the best of the Madhouse, which is 3 hours, and I've autographed it and compiled it myself.
Note the phrasing, what I also like to give out, suggesting friends and family will be getting copies in their stockings. In a star-studded pop panel, everyone's there, giving their opinions. Paul, Russ.
I'm afraid to say I wasn't very impressed. It's boring.
Paul's overly aggressive, treating it like jury service for a double murder.
The performance, she has the deadest eyes of any singer I've ever seen. And it really is. I mean, her eyes are so dead, the girl just isn't performing for me. It's interesting, but slightly disturbing that they'd set it in a church.
Let's have some proper music. Like Keith fumbling to introduce the Salvation Army.
It's written by an older man, Robert Jackson. Here they come. While shepherds watch. I enjoyed that, actually.
After the show, Cliff and Mike will be facing each other at a pro celebrity tennis tournament.
Yes,
Have you been training?
I've been training a bit. I played last week.
Shaking Stevens is playing, and he's going to be playing with Annabelle Croft. Right. And Hank Marvin is playing, and he's going to be playing with Virginia Wade.
And the big reveal here is that Cliff used to have a Zoolander-style charity, providing tennis training to kids, in order to groom Britain's next Wimbledon winner.
But I think by the time next year comes around, we may have doubled the number that we can support, you know. And really, it's a fantastic way, because if we can just get people interested in tennis in Britain, there's no reason why we shouldn't Boris the rest of them off the, you know, rest of the world off the courts.
Cliff's phone-in goes slightly off tone of the usual.
Good morning, Cliff.
Hello.
Cliff, I'm a born-again Christian, and I've heard lots of people say it's wrong for a Christian to be a pop star. If someone said this to you, what would your answer be?
If this were really happening, what would you think? And finally, as is traditional, we go out on some carols, where Keith's joined by special guest Marilyn Monroe. But I'll leave you with their list of upcoming pantos. Should you find yourself in 1985, perhaps accidentally falling into some kind of time toilet, what would you go and see? Me, I'm off to Wolverhampton, mate. Merry Christmas.